It wasn't lipstick. It was a vibrator.
This is the B Team intro song. Ow, that was my foot.
Hey, I'm Million. I'm here with my co-defendants, Garrett, Riley, Macy, and we're here to talk about the good old R&R in the tattoo industry. Rumors and reviews.
When that happens, I usually turn the other cheek and talk back. I'm pretty passive. I'm pretty passive aggressive. I've got a pretty big shop. I think there's more than a few people that are upset with what I'm doing or how I'm doing it or who knows what. I hear little rumors come back about me all the time, which doesn't really faze me so much. But what does faze me is when it's coming back from my friends or from the people that I've done nothing but help. How do I address it? I don't know, man. I don't know how to deal with it, to be honest. Sometimes talk is just that. It's just
We know how you like to handle things.
Yeah.
But would you inform the other three people that are watching?
Well, I think it's circumstantial in a lot of ways. It's part of my job is to deal with those situations. Whether I'm the owner of the shop or whether it's Evergreen and it's a tattoo show, I'm responsible for a lot. I'm responsible for the artists there, the people there, what's going on. So you've got to compartmentalize problems like that. Sometimes you're the investigator and you have to get to the bottom of it. Other times you have to dismiss it as there's a lot of moving parts there if you're a shop owner. Now I've got two policies that I do all the time. One, honesty is a good policy. If you're honest about what's going on, then you should be able to sort things out with a reasonable person. On the other hand, a theory that I've always had is, try to keep your hands clean. Like if you've got clean hands, you really don't have to address a whole bunch. That's what I think happens a lot is somebody slings mud at you and then you react to it. And now you don't have clean hands because you've reacted in this negative way. You've given away your power.
I'm very, very reactionary, and I have to stop and have time to sit on it and stew on it. And as long as I can get myself enough time to sit and stew on it, I realize that the only reason anybody's really talking about somebody like me on the B team is because they're jealous. They needed a bad guy. It really wasn't about me. Inevitably, I'm going to stew on it. I'm going to take it personal and then have to come to the realization that it wasn't a personal attack. Garrett's pretty laid back, and Riley, you're pretty diplomatic and quick to figuring out which one, and I'm just loose cannon. And so it's fun that we got the three of us that work through that. And Macy is just, her head's in the clouds the whole time. She doesn't even know people are mad at her.
Yeah, that's it.
I, in the past, have dealt with it myself. I've started implementing buffers.
Counter guy, shop manager, something like that.
Yep.
well, I try to use buffers, but they're too afraid of confrontation. It's all me, I guess. Like I said, I'm pretty laid back. I don't like confrontation either. Go figure. I think I owe them that.
Years ago, I started putting buffers in place, counterbalances in place to deal with problems before they get there. Like when there's a problem, there's really a problem. Not only do I care about these people greatly, but it's like if there is an issue I have to address, I already have a personal rapport with them. So maybe we can have a conversation instead of yelling at each other like we used to. I'm a big believer in filters and outsourcing that stuff to a certain degree. But don't get me wrong, if there's a problem, I'm firing everybody. If you're poison, if you're cancer, you're out. But I'm going to try to do everything before we get there.
One of the best things you can do on any kind of conflict, whether it's a Google review, Yelp review, or somebody talking, don't go off hot.
I'm going to use a social media analogy. Like on TikTok, when people have negative comments, which they do, they always will. Those negative comments, they're sitting somewhere in your comment feed. The second that you respond to it, it goes to the top of the list. So when other people open your comment section, if you're giving the attention to those negative comments, it's one of the first things they'll see. The same is very much true face to face. If you have a bad interaction with somebody or overly reactive and don't handle that conflict well, that's the things that people are going to remember, and those are the things that people are going to spread around, because I feel like bad reviews spread so much faster than good reviews.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that, but I don't robot much.
No, you don't.
I maintain a very minimal amount of robot.
This segues very, very well into another topic. how to respond to Google reviews. As I said earlier, one of the worst things you can do is respond to a negative review with any kind of emotion attached to it. I always go to it and I take those to heart. I don't like seeing it, but I'm glad that people are making us aware of it as a business.
How much do reviews really play into it now?
Did you guys know that Google is now doing AI reviews? They'll take all of your reviews. AI now is giving you one statement that's attached to your business. You don't have to read through a million bajillion reviews anymore to get a general idea of what the shop
Right.
or place is
Yeah, because
like.
what that AI is doing is basically getting your average.
Having good reviews and stuff does look good, and I think the way that you respond to the negative ones is also important.
How many negative reviews do you think you get? They're made up, they're spiteful for a personal reason.
Yeah, superficial, have no actual basis in
Absolutely. Like
actually doing business. I'd
percentage
say
of
half
those,
of the negatives.
Yeah, I can see half.
they never even got the product. They just don't like these people.
Yep. People obviously didn't read the description on what they ordered
Yeah.
and then blasted that product because it didn't do what they expected. I'm like,
Right.
well, it said right in the description.
Obviously, you could probably go through most reviews for a tattoo shop and then see who wrote the review and track it down and find out that it's someone from another shop or a customer from another shop, and they haven't even been in your shop.
For anybody listening, it is against Google policy to solicit reviews. We discussed a little bit about what was it, rumors and reviews. There's more on that topic coming. But hey, if you got any questions or comments or want to hear us talk about anything for that matter, or you just want to tell us to off, leave it in the comments below.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody
Here's the
cares.
camera.